All right. How do you guys feel about somebody, either a man or a woman, grabbing the other person's arm to walk arm in arm on a first date?
Like spin your partner do-si-do? Like
No, we're not talking
Not
line
hand-holding.
dancing. We're
Like
talking about
crossing the street.
walking down the sidewalk.
I like it.
Okay?
I think it's sweet.
I'm with Sarah. I think it's very sweet. I think if you're feeling that chemistry, that attraction, go for it. We have those instincts that are undeniable, and I think don't hold back. If you feel the need to reach out, go for it.
No, I totally disagree.
Really?
Why
I do.
not?
I think it's a romantic notion. It's cute, whatever. But on a first date, I think it's too presumptuous, too publicly possessive, and like you said, you have instincts.
Right.
I've faked having a good time on a date, so
Sure.
as I'm sure most women I
let's
go
just-
out with also do. But like, I can see like a woman saying, oh, I think things are working out, having a good time, whatever, blah blah blah, and I'm like, no, I don't. I don't want this. I'm not comfortable with this.
Will you do like hand on the small of the back, like anything?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
it's
this
more
arm
of like
thing is
here's
throwing you
it.
off.
What's that?
Oh, I should know if it was just this arm holding.
Well,
it,
I
like-
guess I think like, I don't know. I kind of feel like I said, again, for a first date, I think it's a little presumptuous. And I also think like, who knows what, you don't know what you're doing, the other person's doing. For example, you may have a couple of first dates
Right.
in a week, say for example, and first one you have goes really well, you like the person, whatever, you had a great time. But you had another one planned, you got with the other person a couple of dates later, and that person grabs your arm.
When you
What
say
happens
grab-
if
are
you
you
see?
saying-
What
sorry,
happens
are
if
you
you
saying, like,
see?
just like a nice little?
No,
like
I'm talking
this?
about
like link.
linking and walking arm in arm down the sidewalk from
wait,
one place to another.
I'm just picturing the linkage. Like I'm thinking.
That's what I'm saying, like do-si-do.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like linking arms.
You've never walked arm in arm with someone?
we might need a demo.
I know.
Can I stand up in this studio? Come here. You never like.
Okay, I don't want to drop my box.
You've never.
What, like this?
Yeah.
This is so-
You never walked arm in arm like that with a guy down the street?
No, that's nice.
Close?
No, that's enjoying. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this. That's nice.
I was too actually. Actually, if we both could do it,
That would be great.
then
One on each arm.
Sarah, let's say you had 2 dates scheduled. Okay. One
That
was
never happens.
One was me. Thursday night.
All right.
You go out. You have the time of your, obviously the most
Obviously.
incredible. Like call your friends, get them to brunch
Yeah.
the next day. Amazing kind of time.
Yep.
Okay. And then Saturday night, you had another date planned. You go out with this guy, and he grabs your arm, and you're walking down the street, and I am walking down, and now I see you with this guy.
Sorry.
What do you mean, sorry? So you can say it certainly doesn't seem like it's a first date for you. So I'm like, oh, I thought she said she didn't
You're
have
not full on making out in the middle of
Right.
the street.
But
It's-
I feel like you're taking this a little too
He's
far.
very
You're
sensitive.
really taking this a little too
Oh
far.
my
I think.
goodness.
Kyle, what do
Possessive
you?
with his
Kyle
dates.
said a.
Wait, can I? But whoa,
No,
whoa,
but
whoa.
okay. So let me just finish.
All right.
So then I go, oh, well, that seemed a little bit more than a first date, and then maybe my interest is not quite what it was 2 days before.
Why? That should motivate you and be like, oh, if I really like her, then
No, it's just
it could.
because if I had seen you on another like early on first date or whatever, like that's fair game. But if it seems like you're with
so
the person,
shocked by
I
this.
know, I'm
Really?
very surprised by this. I'm a
Color.
very touchy-feely,
Yes. Me
physical,
Right.
passionate person. I mean, I would walk arm in arm with Sarah down the road or whoever. I mean, you and I could be walking down the road. We could be linked, and I've been married for 10 years.
sure.
Especially when it's cold out and you're like
Freezing.
huddling together.
Okay, I'm a
That
big-
happens
I
all
love
the
Then
time.
I see a girl I went on a date with 2 nights before, and then what happens? How? I mean, that what you don't. So you wouldn't care
Did
if
you
you
kiss?
if you saw. All right, no, let's reverse it. If you saw a guy, let's reverse it.
One
You went out,
time.
and you saw a guy, and you saw me the next day with somebody like this.
Right.
How are you gonna feel? And we went out 2 nights before, and we had an amazing time, and you got all excited, and you went to call your. How are you gonna feel? Let her finish. Let her answer this question. How are you gonna feel? Are you gonna be like, oh, it was no big deal?
I don't
No,
know.
no, you're not. Exactly. You're going to be like,
I
oh,
wouldn't be
well, Phil's a
thrilled.
little sketchy. He's a little two-time.
even
He's a
if-
whatever. I
no,
thought he
no,
didn't have a
no.
girlfriend or something like that.
No.
And I'll say to you, it was a first
No.
day, and I have to explain.
Even if he was out with another woman, it doesn't matter that you're touching her. If I saw you with the other woman.
Yeah, but
it wouldn't matter the arm holding. That's kind of like...
I think it would, because I could say,
I'm with Sarah on this
she's
one.
just a friend. I could say, it was a first date. I had it scheduled before we met.
Yeah.
I wasn't into it, but I didn't want to cancel.
That's fine.
I could say that, but it's harder to explain if you're cuddling down the street.
I'm guessing he does not kiss on first dates.
I don't give away my secret.
This is a very important discussion. I'm thrilled we're having this because dating is called dating for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
We should be getting to know lots of different people.
Exactly.
But why should someone not choose to be their authentic self if they feel that urge to possibly just have a nice, that's what I would call appropriate touching. That's
But
appropriate touching, Phil.
You don't think that that has repercussions potentially in certain circumstances?
I honestly think, and I agree with Sarah, I think that if you can have dialogue around that, like, oh, this was just, like, let's just say, you guys, don't give me the eye roll.
Common
He
sense
does
wise,
not
but
believe
you put yourself in that situation. Yeah, common sense, it's fine, but you put yourself in that situation, it's not. It's like, how many times, like, the guys will talk and they'll say, well, technically, I'm in the clear, I haven't done anything wrong,
Right.
but, you know, when
It's
it comes
a
down to
risk.
it, I'm going to get screwed.
No, that's a risk you're taking. If you have a wonderful
Agreed.
time with someone and then you're like, well, I'm going to go out with this other person, that's the
Right.
risk you take. Yeah, you could run into the other person. You could, someone's friend
Okay.
can see
And
you.
So, go ahead.
I just
I'm
wanna say-
interrupting you left and right, Nicole.
No,
Sorry.
I like when we interrupt each other. This is good. Phil, what I get frustrated, I'm sure, Sarah, you see this with your clients, I see this with my clients too, and I'm constantly coaching people with this in the sense that it's called dating for a reason. You should get to know a variety of different people, always find your best match, what's most compatible with you, but people take dating so seriously. I mean, honestly, like, it's getting to know people. So, and why be so possessive of others? Why?
Yeah,
No,
Bill, why?
No, I'm saying I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. So, but you're saying basically that people are that way, and I'm saying that's the reality. I'm not saying how people should be. I'm saying how people
Right.
are. So that's the reality of, you know, like of the way it is. Like, people are possessive. People are whatever. People do take dating too seriously. So
Right.
if somebody were in that situation, that's why I think it would be a problem. Do you know what I'm saying?
I just feel like if you were out on a date with someone, had this great date, great connection, and then the next night perhaps you see them, or the next weekend you see them out with someone else, you shouldn't feel that attached to someone after a first date. That no, this is in the ubiquitous sense.
Okay.
I'm not ganging up on Phil here.
No, that's fine.
Right,
That's,
and no,
I can handle it.
Bring it, baby.
Get some more women in here. I can
In
handle
the
it.
ubiquitous sense that no one should feel that attached to someone. So really, like, you went out on one date. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that, like, some appropriate touching, if you saw someone appropriately touching another person, then that's perfectly fine.
Okay, what's inappropriate touching?
I mean, if
What about
I
what
agree
about
with
the
Sarah,
first
if
date
you-
making out at a bar? All right, Kyle, come on. Kyle has something to say too. What have you been wanting to say?
No, I wanted to see if you guys were going to show me inappropriate touching.
I can show you that myself.
Take her out.
actually.
I got a male intern in here with me, and he's loving this, by the way. We're all loving this. But I'll agree. Phil, it's a jealousy. If I had a first date, and I'm not trying to take it too seriously, I went on a first date, all of a sudden I see the girl that I went on the first date with that I thought was a fantastic date. I thought, wow, she's going to want to be back with me. And then I see her, even if it's with a friend, first reaction, I'm going to caveman it and be like, what the hell? Why is she holding some guy's arm? Why is she so close to the guy? I mean, that's what my reaction with. That's what the intern said his reaction with. If you see a girl that you thought you kind of had a special connection with, and guys were largely physical, so for us, holding is all touching is that I don't like to kiss on the cheek, because to me that means a little bit more. I'm not going to kiss you on the cheek unless I really mean it. So if I saw, I'm 100% with Phil. If I saw a girl holding a hand that I went on a date with, I would be pissed. Sure, she can explain herself, but I'd still be mad at the beginning.
And isn't the other person going to
Okay,
feel?
wait.
Oh,
Kyle, what if
All right,
it
you
was
can interrupt me
reversed
now.
then? What if it was reversed for you?
but
I'm
he
a
said
guy.
he wouldn't feel comfortable
Yeah, I'm a
walking.
guy.
He wouldn't feel comfortable walking arm in arm with somebody. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'd rather have the first date and then, you know, like especially if I'm not really into that person.
Who's to say this girl isn't seeing 5 other guys?
Exactly.
What do you mean?
Sleeping with 5 other guys. When you're
Right.
going on a
Great, even
first
better.
date. I know, so I'm just saying you think
that
the
I like her
idea-
even more. No, but I don't understand what that means.
So what that means is, just by going on a first date, yes, she's probably single, but your idea that maybe she's not seeing anyone else, not having any other first dates or any other
No, I
relationships.
think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm saying
just the visual of seeing it.
I'm saying if you went out and had a great time with somebody on a certain night and then saw him the next night walking arm in arm with somebody else, wouldn't you kind of think to yourself, oh, well, maybe we didn't have that great of a time. Maybe it wasn't that connection. Maybe it wasn't that special. Maybe I'm not, wouldn't you kind of feel, wouldn't you feel a little bit bad about it?
Sure.
Especially after you told your friends at brunch the next day about me? Then,
about you, of course.
No, but like...
No, I totally
think
understand that.
If it's a scenario where the one person is not maybe ready for it or into it, I mean, it's a first date. Like, you haven't even had any kind of interaction afterwards saying, are we going to see each other again? Do we like that kind of thing? Then I just think it can be cute, it can be romantic. I do understand that. And I'm not saying it's never appropriate, but I'm saying I think it can be presumptuous, and I kind of shy away from it a little bit.
I agree. I also agree with Sarah. Sarah made a brilliant point. The girl that you, yes, Sarah makes brilliant points all the time.
I'm just teasing.
That Phil, you could be out with this girl, fantastic date, but Sarah's right. She could be dating 5 other people.
But there's nothing wrong with that, though. There are repercussions to what you might do publicly that you might not want to actually have happen. It could ruin it. I mean, chances are something like this is not going to ruin something, but it could force you into having a conversation that you might not want to have too early on.
Have to be able to own your actions.
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
Have to be able to feel good.
I just think if that's truly who you are at your core and you enjoy expressing yourself that way to people, go for it. Don't hold back. The other thing too, everyone likes something physical in a date, especially like a first date. And I'm not saying that you have to kiss on the first date. I'm not saying that you have to hold hands or put your hand on the small of a woman's back, or perhaps like a nice little rub. Twister, a naked twister is always appropriate on a first date.
I like to dress in casual.
But I do think it's nice to make little gestures throughout a date physically, like appropriate touching.
Yes.
But at least you're connecting more on a deeper level.
I do agree with that. I do.
The caveat here is never walk publicly on a first date with arms linked.
I didn't say never.
I'm never
I
doing it again.
have to be careful. I just think you have
I'm
to be
scared
careful.
now. None of that.
So
what if I held Sarah's hand for the rest of the show?
Let's see. I would be totally distracted. Can we show how people can get in touch with us if they have an opinion? Because we actually had a couple of people just privately give me their opinion, and I'll tell you guys that in a second. But you can call us at 877-PULSE-411, Tweet us one word, the Pulse, or one word, single mentality. Email single.mentality@yahoo.com, or do something on Facebook. So I did have a couple. I just mentioned it to some random people, and they just gave me their private responses. So one guy said, I asked, what do you think if a girl does that to you? And he says, it means I'm going to get some tail tonight. But another guy said, if we're heading home to my apartment at 2 a.m., I'm all for it. If I like her, I don't mind it. Evidently she likes me and is making it known that the 2 a.m. walk is a possibility. If I'm not feeling it, I don't like it because she's sending me a message I don't want to receive. And also somebody said that if I give my opinion, it makes me sound sketchy because most people are not dating more than one person at the same time, which I don't think. Yeah, right. There we go. That was just somebody's opinion, which I think nowadays that's not necessarily true, especially with online dating. There's a lot of first dates that people go on with somebody that they're not really sure they want to spend time with, and I don't think it's sketchy by any means to do it. So, anyway.
Whew, I feel like we all need a cold shower.
I know, really.
Wow.
Like bench press or something.